already joined, some of you are still on the fence, and some of you will join us later on. So I'm sure everybody who has been here for a while, you have familiarized yourself with the timetable there on the screen. If you look at your screen right there, we have a timetable. So this timetable, where there is like a color, it's during the weekend. So we have the first day, the second day, day number 15, 16. So all those days are days where we are going to be having lessons. So starting next week, we're going to be having lessons every Saturday and Sunday up until we write the exam, and even the week before the exam, we are going to have classes the whole week. But that is not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is the actual structure. What are we going to be doing in those specific days? What are we going to be doing on the first day? What are we going to be doing on the second day? What will we do on the third day? So let me just open my actual timetable for myself, not the one for you guys, so that I can show you what we are going to be doing specifically. Just give me a moment here to open it. Meanwhile, you can just familiarize yourself with the timetable here. Okay, guys, in total for bookkeeping, we have 10 classes. The 10 classes where we are going to be doing structured work. We're going to have 10 classes, and then we have extra 4 classes where we are going to have request classes. As you can see, that blue part on the timetable, it's request classes, where if the class doesn't understand a certain concept well, you guys will ask, can we do this one? Can we do that one? We did not understand fully. And then with regards to wills and estates, we are going to have 6 classes, and then we are going to have extra 4 classes for request classes. I'm just opening my announcement here now. I don't know why it's refusing to open. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna open it now. I'm trying to open it, it's refusing. Oh yeah, guys. The most impressive thing that we are going to have is that all the classes are going to be recorded, and we are also going to have extra classes that will not be like a class, but it's just gonna be a recording of the memo of the exam, which I think it's wonderful because you're gonna get explanations of the memos. That is awesome. So let me just, oh, great. Ah, there it is. It's open now. Lerato, are you there? Can you tell me if it's open? Is it open? Can you see anything on your screen now? The announcement.
Yes, it's open.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so guys, number one, it's fees. How are the fees structured? So the fees go like this. You pay for 500 for all the weekends till exams. So you only pay 500 once off for each paper. So if you are taking estates, you pay 500. If you are taking bookkeeping, you take 500. If you are taking both, you pay 1,000. And then there's an extra 75 rand that you have to pay for recorded classes and extra 5 classes for memo explanations. The way that we are going to put these videos, it's going to be private videos. The only way to access them is through your email. So you need to pay for that service, or you can choose not to pay for it, but it's only 75 rand. And then we also have private lessons. Private lessons, it's one-on-one lessons where I'm going to be teaching you alone. You get 5 lessons. We're going to cover everything in those 5 lessons. They're also going to be recorded individual recordings, and we can do whatever question paper you want to do. That price was 700 before, but starting next week, it's going to be 900. It has gone up. And then we have 180 for a single concept. Guys, if you can't afford to pay the whole 500, just study by on your own and try to see where you're struggling, and then you can pay 180 for a concept. Maybe bank reconciliation is where you find problems, you can just pay 180 and do the bank reconciliation, or maybe it's non-cash. where you're struggling, you can just pay 180, or maybe it's investment, or maybe it's conveyancing. Whatever you find problems, we are going to do that concept for 180. And then we have number 2, referrals. Guys, I'm saying that if you can refer 4 people to me, you attend class for free. Like if you can get 5 people to attend, you get to attend for free. So if you get 5 people to sign up for any paper, you get to attend for free. You don't have to pay. If you refer less than 4 people, you don't pay for recordings, you are added for free. So the recordings, that is 75 Rand extra. If you recruit people that are less than 4, you get to get the recordings for free. And then we have payment. Payment you can just pay at any time. I know we are starting next week. We are starting next week Saturday, then Sunday. You saw the timetable. Saturday and Sunday we have class, and then every Saturday and Sunday from there onwards, going onwards. You can join at any time because we are going to have recorded classes. So you can just, if you don't have the money now, you can join later. You will catch up with us, and then you will continue with the classes. That is announcement number 3. Now let's go into detail with the actual course. If you're not planning to join us for our course, you can also use this structure to study on your own. So this structure is not specifically for our course. You can also just follow it on your own time if you're not going to be joining us. So day 1, let's start with bookkeeping only. So day 1, we are going to be doing cash principles. Under cash principles, we are going to be doing the 3 basic accounting principles that are falling under cash. So we are going to be doing the 3 basic accounting principles that fall under cash. If you know them, if you have studied some notes before, you would know that it's VAT, payment and deposits, and double entry. Those are the 3 principles that we are going to be doing on the first day. Next week, Saturday, we are going to be doing that. So we're going to do that, do a practical example, and then I'm going to give you homework that you have to do alone. Then we're going to mark that homework. Then the second day, we are going to continue with cash principles. Guys, we're going to continue with cash principles and do another practical example. Understand this. If you understand day 1 and day 2, you already covered 50% of the paper, because cash principles are 50% of the paper, and non-cash principles, I don't think they're 50%, I think like 40, but we will see. And then on day 2, we are going to cover the overview of cash principles and practical example. Basically, we are going to have 2 days for cash principles. Cash, we know what cash is. Cash is money, like actual money. It can be 5,000, it can be 50 Rand, it can be 5,000. How do you handle that money when you receive it in your legal practice? That is what we are going to cover in day 1 and day 2. And then day 3, remember guys, all these days where I'm just saying day 1, day 2, this is Saturday and Sunday. It's not during the day or following the days that are following each other. It's Saturday and Sunday. So day 1 and day 2, it's Saturday, Sunday. Day 3, day 4, Saturday, Sunday. So it's always Saturday and Sunday. So day 3, we are going to have non-cash principles, how you handle non-cash in your firm. The 3 basic accounting principles that apply to non-cash, we are going to cover those ones. I'm going to give you a practical example. I'm also going to give you homework that you have to do. And then after you have done the homework, we're going to have, on Sunday, we're going to have another class where we are going to do the overview of what we just did yesterday. And then we are going to do another practical example just for your understanding. Guys, trust me, the first 4 classes for bookkeeping, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, those are the most important classes. Those are the most important classes. Everything stems from those 4 classes. If you understand where we are going within those 4 classes, I'm telling you, a distinction you are going to get. A distinction won't be a problem for you if you are able to grasp what I'm talking about in day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. And I'm going to be recording. Non-cash, we know what non-cash is. Non-cash is non-banking transactions. This transaction, they don't reflect in the bank statement. So guys, let me just tell you what cash is and non-cash is. Cash is actual money. Like if you deposit 5,000 in your bank account, it's gonna reflect in your statement. But with non-cash are called non-banking transactions because they do not reflect in your bank statement. They are not there. So those ones we are going to do the second week. The first week we are going to do cash because cash is the most important. Then non-cash we do the following week. And then we have day 5. What are we going to cover on day 5? On day 5, what we are going to cover is the statement of account. Guys, a statement of account is literally very important. Like out of almost 80% of previous exams, they wanted you to know, not say maybe like draft the statement of account, but know what a statement of account involves. So we are going to be doing the statement of account individually, the 3 columns that are involved in the statement of account, which are the first column is details, the second column is fees and disbursements, and the third column is allowance and money received. So we are going to be doing those 3 columns so that you are able to understand, because 90% of the time when they ask you about correspondent, it's always the statement of account. They always give it to you. Like if you were writing the previous exam in March, they needed you to know what is going on in the statement of account. I'm telling you, all the people that did not understand the statement of account, they did not get that question. That 40 marks was up for grabs, but if you did not understand the basics of a statement of account, you were not going to be able to analyze it and know what is going on. So we are going to cover a statement of account. After that, on the same day, we are going to cover investments. Guys, investments is like the easiest chapter. These are free marks. Guaranteed you're going to get free 15 marks for investments. They're always there in under conveyancing. So we're gonna do investments. I'm gonna give you a first practical homework from the previous question papers. So I'm gonna compile the best ones that I know they contain all the important principles, like a question paper that you should really know. It's 2020 November. I don't know, no, 2020 October. That 2020 October paper is very essential to most of our principles because most principles are in that paper. So that paper will do it as a homework. Then I'm gonna give you the homework. Then I'm gonna have memos that I'm going to upload, memo videos where you're going to watch the memo and then be able to do it yourself. And then on day 6 again, will be done. So for conveyancing and for investments and statement of account, we're just going to have one day because there's nothing really complicated under investments. You just need to know when do we break down the interest. I think that is like the most only complicated thing, where you break down the interest and say I'm going to pay the LPFF and I'm also going to pay the client. So that is like the only thing that is complicated under the investment account. So day 5, we're just gonna do investments and statement of account only, and then homework, and then I'm gonna upload a memo video. Then number 6, we will do basics of conveyancing, the responsibility of the buyer and the responsibility of the seller, and the 2 transactional periods, which are preparation stages, stage number 1, and the second stage is day of registration. So we're gonna do those 2 concepts on the day of conveyancing. Guys, I'm telling you, when it comes to conveyancing, we really need you to understand conveyancing, because conveyancing is part of almost every exam. In every exam that you're going to do, conveyancing is going to be there. They're going to ask you about conveyancing in almost, let me not say in almost, in every exam. Every paper that I've ever looked at, they always ask you something related to conveyancing. So conveyancing, we are going to do it for 2 days. So we're gonna do that the first day, and on day 7 we are also going to do conveyancing. On day 7 we are going to have an open discussion. Here we are going to be discussing conveyancing. What don't you understand? You don't understand what bank guarantee is. You don't understand like a loan from one client to another client. We are going to be talking about that. We are going to be discussing it practically. So the best way for you to understand my course is to think about it practically. Those who are already part of the private lessons, there are guys who have joined me for private lessons, I think like 7 guys. So those guys that joined me for private lessons, under conveyancing, when we reach conveyancing, we will talk more about this, where you're gonna see where I'm gonna be open to you discussing this thing with me. Like when we start our private lessons, I always give them a practical scenario. Like for example, I have Miss Isaacs. I'll be like, Miss Isaacs, you open Isaac Incorporation on the 1st of January, you open your trust account and your business account, and now how do we handle cash in those accounts? So that's how we do it. We put it in a practical sense so that you understand it better. Because if I'm just telling you that double entry means this and you don't apply it practically, you won't understand it. You just try to cram it. And if you haven't noticed, LPC or whoever is setting up the exams, they are trying to confuse people now. They are taking out key information. They're bringing you the same exams as before, but they take out key information. Like from this previous exam, they didn't give you all the VETs. They only gave you like 2 or 3 VETs out of 4 or 5 fees. They didn't give you all the VETs. They wanted you to know that this amount needs VAT. If it's a fee, always it must always have VAT. So the statement of account that was given to you in the current exam of March, it was wrong. That statement of account was not correct, in a sense that it was not complete. So those are the things where they're going to be testing you. They're going to give you information that is as missing components where you have to put them in together. And in this course, we cover everything that you're going to write. So let's move on. Then we have number 8. Number 8, day number 8. On the day number 8, we're going to cover instructed correspondent. So instructed correspondent and the basic principles of correspondent. What are the basic principles of correspondent? Principles like you are only allowed to share 1/3 of the fees, and the 1/3 goes to the instructing attorney, and you as the instructed, you get 2/3. Why are you getting 2/3? Because you are the lawyer in the situation. Like in the situation, you are the lawyer and the instructing attorney is the client. You need to know things like that. You need to know that 33% is the cap for sharing of fees. You need to know that candidate attorneys cannot be in correspondent with attorneys. Advocates cannot be in correspondent with attorneys. Those things are the things that we're going to be talking about when we're talking about instructed correspondent and the basics of instructing correspondence. Here we are going to have 2 homeworks. We are going to have 2 homeworks. We are also going to have 2 examples. Because listen, when it comes to instructed correspondence, they can ask it in 2 ways. So that's why we have 2 homeworks, because they can ask you in 2 ways, and that is why we have 2 homeworks. That is day number 8, and then we're gonna go to day number 9. So on day number 9, we cover instructing correspondent. On day number 9, we are going to cover instructing correspondent and the basics of correspondence. Okay, so we are going to cover that again. Guys, also under instructing correspondent, we are going to have 2 examples and 2 homeworks because they always ask it in 2 ways. So we need to do 2 for correspondent because they can ask it as a statement of account or just as information. They just give you the information. So we are going to do it that way. We're gonna do all of it on day number 9, and then I'm gonna give you 2 homeworks. You're going to do those homeworks, and I'm gonna upload separate memo videos for those specific homeworks. And then we have day number 10, which is the last day for our structured course, where we are going to have bank reconciliation. We're going to do 2 examples. I'm going to give you 2 homeworks, and I'm also going to upload 2 memo videos for this bank reconciliation. And then we're going to have day 11, 12, 13, 14. This is the week where before you are writing. Those are the days before you are writing. So day 11, 12, 13, and 14, we are going to have request classes. What don't people understand? If the class says, you know what, sir, we do not really understand correspondent, can we do it again? We're going to do it on the 11th day. And then someone is going to come and say, sir, I didn't understand the statement of account. We're going to do it on day number 12. And day number 13, somebody's going to be like, you know what, I don't understand certain things. We're going to do it again, and then we're going to do it on the 14th day. That will be our final day. So basically, we have request classes. What the class doesn't understand, we are still going to do it over again. That is it with our bookkeeping. Anybody has a question with bookkeeping before we start talking about how we are going to handle our what do we call it, our estates? Anybody has a question with how the bookkeeping is structured? Okay, no question. That's great. Now let's talk about estates. Estates is not really complicated, so we won't have many days for estates because the less information you have, the better you are off. So with estates, day number 1, this is probably going to be on Sunday. Yes, it's going to be this coming Sunday, not tomorrow, the next Sunday. So on the 2nd of July. So under estates, we will do the basics first. We are going to start with the basics of the will. We are going to do the principles of the will, the clauses in the will. Those are the things that we are going to basically cover. Here I'm going to send you some examples of a will. So basically the only thing that I'm going to give you here for this one here, I'm going to direct you, I'm going to send it to you directly, where I'm giving you three examples of wills that I think are important. I'm going to give you estate massing. That is important. You need to know how to draft clauses in the estate massing. Number two, another will, I'm going to give you a will that has to do with what else? Estate massing and okay, testamentary will, the one with the testamentary trust. That one I'm going to give you, and the third one is just going to be a basic will. So, and then number two, we are going to cover interstate succession law. So on day two, we are going to cover interstate succession law. Day number two is very important because most of the questions that are related to liquidation and distribution, they come from the interstate succession law. So under interstate succession law, this is the law that you're going to use to distribute your properties under liquidation and distribution, mostly, but sometimes you use the will. Then we're going to have day number three. The day number three is the most important day, even though I said number two is very important. Day number three is very important. Why is it important? Because we are going to be doing the basics of liquidation and distribution accounts, where we are going to cover the liquidation account. So basically this day it's only for the liquidation account. We are not going to do anything. I'm going to do two examples with you that are related to a liquidation account, how we enter it, how we enter those assets and liabilities. That is going to be our third day, day number three, which is going to be 2 weeks from now. So on day number three, everyone must be attending. I understand day number one and number two, it's fine if you don't attend, but day number three, it's where you need to attend, because we are going to be breaking down how you handle assets and how you handle those the liabilities. So we're going to be talking about the liquidation account only. Then day number four, we are going to be discussing the distribution account, the cash recapitulation account, and the expenditure account. So on day number three, we're gonna discuss three accounts. The liquidation, day number four, we are going to discuss the cash recapitulation. How do you do that? We are going to do distribution account and expenditure and income. Guys, listen, when I'm talking about doing those three things, we are going to be doing them from two. We are going to be doing it from two examples of previous question papers. So it's very important for you to attend so that you can be able to do them. In practice, in general, we're going to have done 4 previous exam papers, maybe in 2 lessons. We're going to have done 4 that you will know fully. I know that you will know them fully because here we sell simple language. That is what we are going to be selling you. We're going to be explaining it to you as simplest as possible. Like we're going to tell you so simple. Like we're going to break it down in the simplest language ever, where you have to understand what this section is saying. And then, okay, we are going to be doing that. And then day number 5, we are going to be doing estate duty. Now, guys, I understand most people, they fail when it comes to estate duty. Some think it's complicated, some think it's very hard. Death tax is not hard, guys. It's simple and straightforward. You just need someone to explain it to you in the simplest way ever, which I'm going to be doing on day number 5. We are going to be talking about estate duty, and we are going to have, I think we are going to have okay, the whole day that day it's gonna be only estate duty. And guys, for me, I'm gonna explain it to you so simple, but if you do not study it, it's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna explain it to you like I'll make sure that everyone who's attending understands. When you understand, we're gonna go to day 6. Day 6 is where we will do a full question paper for liquidation and distribution. So here, everyone, I would assume that everyone will be understanding by then. Then we are going to have a full cover of the liquidation and the distribution account in full. And then we are going to have request classes as usual. We also have request classes here, day number 11, day number 12, day 13, and day 14. You are going to have request classes. You can request that. You know what? I didn't understand the estate duty. Can we repeat that fully? I didn't understand what public organizations are. Can we repeat those fully? I didn't understand. In life policies. Life policies are like the most challenging things for some people. We're gonna talk about them. We'll do them. Don't worry. So essentially, Guys, I'm thinking what I'm offering. I'm offering you the most at the least prices. I've checked all the prices. My prices are very competitive. Like there's no one that is charging the same thing that I am charging and having as many classes as I am having. I'm having more than 10 classes. Remember, I'm having more than 10 classes. I'm gonna be providing recordings. I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm gonna walk with you. Lirato knows this. Like I'm always there. If you send me a message, I'm gonna reply. I'm gonna hold your hand. Basically, I'm gonna spoon feed you, but you have to do your part. Guys, I think my prices are the most competitive here. I have like I charge you 500 for each paper, and my goal, guys, my goal for this year, by this time next year, by March, not this time, by March next year, I'm hoping to have 200 admissions. I already have 140 people who are promising to join by next weekend. I hope they're still willing to join. Let me just say, I hope you are. I hope, guys, you are listening out there. You guys who promised me 140. Our goal is to reach 200 admissions. Others have already been admitted. I was doing orals, not admitted. Sorry about that. Others have already passed. They were telling me now that they are on their way to apply to be admitted as attorneys, the ones who were doing orals. So, guys, that 200 is so simple to achieve. I need your referrals. Please refer the classes. The classes are only 500. We hold your hand and we are going to be with you until you get admitted. Guys, you only pay once and I'm going to be with you until you get admitted. Like if you pay that 500, you're going to attend class now. If you don't make it next year, you still attend with the same money that you paid this year. You carry over the money that you paid. So I'm going to be with you until you get admitted. So if you have friends that have been failing, please refer them to me. I'm gonna hold their hands. Don't let these exams hold you back from your admission, guys. I'm willing to help. I'm gonna hold your hand, spoon feed you. And I also offer people like classes in person. Like you will see along the way when we're doing. If I'm free, if there's a day where I'm free, I'll be like, anyone who wants to come, I'm available. Come see me. I'm gonna teach you what you don't understand. So we're gonna have times like those ones when I'm free. I can teach you without paying anything extra. So, guys, in a nutshell, that is what we are going to cover in this coming August exams. Hope everyone is going to pass. My oral class is so happy. I hope you guys are also gonna be happy with me at the end because the guys that I was teaching last March, they're also happy with me, as you heard Lerato here was saying. So, guys, do you have any questions? You can ask your questions now. I'm gonna also upload this video. It's gonna be on the page.
Hello, sir.
Good day, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What's the question?
Hello.
Yes, I'm
Hello,
listening.
sir. I just
Yes.
want to find out how long does the class take?